What is this? Black Nerd Problems, and we're here with probably the best motherfucker walking the face of the earth right now when it comes to comedy and looks, probably Mr. Jurden right here. And I'll admit, this is the only interview I've ever been nervous for. But
Oh my,
it is a pleasure to be here in your presence, sir.
thank you, Omar. It's a pleasure to be in your presence. I love all things nerdy. I love this pod. Let me tell you something. Your presence on TikTok makes me so happy
Oh,
because for the longest time, y- y- TikTok, and I love this. It would
mhm.
expose so many people to so many things, particularly Marvel Comics. But there would sometimes be a bit of a surface reading of certain things, and just the amount of depth and nuance that you continue to bring to TikTok for comic book stuff. It makes me so happy. It makes me so happy because it also is it's such a celebration of the form, of the art, of, modern American myth making.
Yeah.
And to see you continue to talk about it in a way that's both fun, but also like informative. And it's critical analysis of text. It's so good.
And then in the interview right here, interview right here. No, thank you so much, thank you so much. And I love your presence online as well because I believe it's because my long term memory is great, but my short term memory is so hard. I've seen you, or I believe I saw your stuff on Instagram first, but I think I saw you on X of Words first, and I already knew like, oh, they got a comedian. I'm like, oh, they got Jay Jordan. All right. Then I saw you on the Tonight Show doing jokes. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I see you in Marvel Comics writing, and I'm like, wait, what? We've seen like people in TV, like TV writers go on and do like, arcs and things like that. I've seen professional wrestlers go like CM Punk, Raven do it. I don't know if I've ever seen a comedian write for a comic book before. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. And you did the story with Storm and
Yeah.
Iceman on Morocco as well. So I was like,
Yeah.
he well read. He well read.
Oh, let
Okay.
me tell you. So I was so honored that Marvel reached out, but I mean, people like Yodoye Travis have been writing comic. Yodoye Travis wrote a really amazing one shot of Batman with Scarecrow. So
Mhm.
that you have to pick up that issue if you like funny people writing comic book stuff. I was very lucky. Marvel reached out to me about Marvel Voices X-Men #1, and they wanted to have a couple of short stories. And with Omar, when they reached out to me, I was so happy and so humble. I was like, okay, so this is what I'm thinking. And I think I've told one other person this. I was like, okay, so let's go Prodigy and Cypher, Alyssa
Yeah.
Cypher, because we
Yeah.
haven't seen her in a while.
Yeah.
What has she been doing? We can talk about imperceptibility. We can talk about the invisible black woman. There's so many. We could
Insane.
go to a really interesting place. We could really see because David's power and her powers to me are overlooked, but they're so powerful. I'm talking about
Yeah.
Prodigy, David Allen. So that was a story that I wanted to tell. And they said, "Oh, well, they said, we got some bigger characters left that people haven't." I said, "Who y'all
Absolutely.
got?" They said, "We got Storm." I said, "No, y'all don't." I said, "That's Storm." They said, "We do have Iceman." I said, "Storm and Iceman." And so then my brain instantly sort of went to something that I know you'll appreciate, the conversation that happens when people spar.
Yes.
Happens on Naruto a lot. This happens in so many shonen animes. This is the primary love language between Vegeta and Goku. What is what is the subtext? What is the conversation? What is this dance? What is this intimacy between two characters? How well do they know each other? And I always wanted to really play in this beautiful crossover space between both Iceman and Storm's power sets
Yes.
and their importance to the X-Men and their importance to queer culture and their new status as two benchmark Omegas that terraform the planet.
Hmm.
What does it mean when these people train? One of the things I loved about Krakoa is that we saw the wild hunt. We saw the training grounds. We saw
Yes.
because we had we had a danger room for so long, and now I assume we're getting it back. But there is an element of training that X-Men was always very good at demonstrating. it wasn't just like they know how to fight. It was like, nah, Charles Xavier was whooping their asses. Charles Xavier was Joe Jackson in these X-Men.
More grit. More. He don't want
Yeah,
it enough. Another round.
exactly. And you once again, when he didn't do that, when he just did it telepathically, what happened? The Deadly Genesis team. So we
Mhm.
know that they train. And so they get to have a conversation play out between Storm and Iceman, to get to have a conversation play out through the decades with them, to get to tell my wonderful illustrators, I want to see uh, like three different I want to see three costumes from the past so we
Yeah.
can show that they've done this for a while. I loved that story. I loved the little fun story about training. I loved some witty gay icon banter.
Yes.
This is one of my favorite jokes I've ever written, and it's not even one I say on stage. Is the one where Bobby says, "We're both Omegas. One of us is a gay icon," and Storm goes, "And the other is
Yeah.
you."
Yeah.
That's just I felt very happy, and I feel like my humor came across.
Yes.
I also feel like the warmth and love of those characters came across. I think even making sure that Storm was funny
Yes.
really important to me, because sometimes there's such a self-serious edge, once again, to the most important Black woman in all of comic books, that
Yeah.
people really don't let her have any fun. She's never, I just want her to be a little silly. It's
Yes.
like she was, when she was about to shock Miles Morales because she was like, I don't like Spider-Man. He was like, it's not,
Point
it's
blank.
not, it's that other, that ain't. Miles was this close to being like, look,
I'm one of us.
so that element of Storm is something I really wanted to showcase. And I felt very happy that I got to do that with her. And it's one of those things where if I never write another comic book again, that's something I go, I did it.
I did that
Hey,
though. I did
not
that
only not
though.
only not only did I do it, it's it's canon,
Yes.
and people started fights about the power set. And I was
Yep.
like, what? And now people have to go, well, if you go back to that, I go, yeah, if you go back,
If we look in the text,
it's in continuity.
if you're, I think you will be writing a comic again. And then I have to ask, because we know your love of X-Men. So then what hero, it doesn't even have to be with Marvel, or it could be with a different company, let's say DC, or even if it's Image. What hero would you like to take the reins on then? Like, all right, if I could do it for Marvel, I
Oh,
would do this character. If I could do it for
oh
DC,
my
I would do this character.
God. Oh my God. You know, I I have thought about this.
Mm.
I've thought about this for Marvel, a few different times. And I think that the Storm Solo series is so good right now that like I feel like I could add to the tapestry of Storm later on.
Yes.
The thing I would want to do for the X-Men is I would want to write for the junior team, not the
Yeah,
students.
yeah, yeah.
But those sort of like New Mutants runs where there would be like a secondary team, because there'd be tiered teams where like
Yeah.
these are the active duty combatants, these are the people who like are right under them. I love, I'd have to work on my Portuguese, but I love Sunspot in
Yes.
such a way. I think he's like this really I think he's this really cool example of a Marvel Superman dupe that is interesting.
Hmm.
It's so interesting. He's biracial, Afro-Brazilian. I mean, Paul Mooney would love this. The stronger he gets, the blacker he gets. But he's also this like flirty billionaire, playboy, strategist, goofball. I I don't know. I want to see him with Monet. I want to see them
Yes.
be these two these two extremely rich but extremely caring but extremely strong but
Hmm.
extremely vulnerable people together. That's It's so interesting. I want to see him have to deal with one of my favorite things is whenever like and Cyclops does he does a lot of people do that when they write Cyclops. He do a good job of Cyclops loves to delegate. And
Yes.
so when you become one of his we saw it in Krakoa with the generals. When
Yeah.
you become one of his generals, he goes, "Hey, you need to do this. Get it together." And we've seen Ileana get that responsibility. We've seen him and Logan talk about that responsibility and argue about it.
Hmm.
Cyclops says, I sent her on that mission because I know, Messiah Complex, when Cyclops goes,
Yeah.
I'm putting Laura on the team. And Wolverine goes, You're not putting the kid on the team and kill. I'll kill, but I'm not, don't put my daughter on this
Yeah.
team. Cyclops goes, I don't care. She's on the team. She, if she's your daughter and you on the team, you don't think she's gonna be on the team? Okay,
Yeah.
but she on the team. That I want to see him have that conversation, not necessarily with Cannonball, because Cannonball's had been in
Yes.
proximity to that with Cable and with like, but Cannonball, he's a daddy now. He's off in space. He's with Smasher and their baby. I want to see Cyclops have that conversation with Roberto. I want him to be like, Bobby, look, this is the second time I've had to deal with like a Bobby who doesn't act like they care about you.
Yeah. They don't
I
listen.
once again, stop joking around. Like I want to see that so bad
Mm.
because a funny, flirty, sexy Brazilian hunk just is not taken serious, but then he is. I'd want to see that. That'd be something I would love to write. That's Marvel. That's X-Men corner of Marvel. In DC, I'm so fascinated with Mr. Miracle and Big
Oh,
Barda
oh,
that that's
yes, yes,
I
Scott
want to
Free.
see something about Scott Free. I love how cool he is, but I love
Mhm.
how human he is. I love how sad he gets. It's that New Gods dynamic is sometimes really, really like interesting and fascinating to me because once again, that's like pure myth making.
Yeah.
It's so good. That's something that's where I would want to go. I truly have to finish more Invincible comics because I'm thinking about Image right now,
Mhm.
and I, I love a commentary on the nature of brutality and the brutality of empire expansion,
Yeah.
and so like I don't know like what I would write, but I do know there's there's a couple of like there's a couple of Invincible characters where I go, so if Viltrumites lived this long, like, what's going on
Over
now?
here.
Where are
Hmm.
things? And so that would be interesting. I think I don't know. There's part of me that also is like, well, I can't. I can say I'm not supposed to say this. There's a part of me that's also like, okay, Jay, you love all this stuff from a creative standpoint, where do you put it? Do you put more comic book jokes in your next hour? Are you
Mm.
writing more comic book jokes? Or do you work on an animated series that pulls from your love of fun, funky science fiction? So those are two things I'm currently dealing with. So I'm glad you asked that.
Hell yeah. I'm like, and I think the answer to that is both. It is both.
Yeah.
And speaking of your special, which I see you got yourself in the back,
Oh
the
yeah,
frame,
yeah.
Hulu special, debut special. That
It's next to the X-Men issue.
yeah, I saw that. I'm like, is that the X in the back? I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You your comedy special is I said it in the review for you. Usually you see comedians go up and it is like it's a boxing match. You see the type of comedian. Okay, like he's an infighter. He's gonna go in, get the crowd. All right, this dude's pacing.
Yeah.
He's hunting down the
I
crowd.
love this.
And I was like, you're this. I wouldn't even say like an outfighter, like, oh, jab, come back. Like, nah, you are a gunslinger. You're just like, nah, bow, bow, bow. Like, just, I feel like it's rarer to see that because you see some people, you're still taking your time, but it is just so rapid fire and it's easy. It's not like too fast either. It's like, oh, I can keep up. Like, damn, okay. And we're hitting so many topics, but then when you choose to stay with one topic, it's like, bam, 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 bam. I'm like, yo, whoa, 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 whoa. and you do it
Yeah.
so well too. So it feels like it feels like such a I feel like that's a rare it's a rare trait now to see on stage to do that.
I come from a theatrical background. I've been performing in some capacity in theater since I was 11.
Nice.
So my my goal is to give an audience their money's worth. I
Mhm.
think there's a respect factor because I think comedy is of the service industry. I also think there's a, if, if from a Bret Hart reference, there's an
Come
excellence
on,
in
come
the
on.
execution of this particular skill set on my behalf. I didn't go to the Stu Hart School for Wrestling. I did start comedy in New York City with a love for comedy baked
Mhm.
in, with a long history of watching Comedy Central late at night, standing
Yeah.
up, watching Insomniac with David Tell, watching Patrice, Elephant in the Room, watching so many episodes of Premium Blend. I really respected and loved the art form. So my special, I wanted it to be indicative of that, but also, creatively mine and, most importantly, funny. But there was a reverence and a respect that was present in this first one, primarily because I know how hard it is to get anything made,
Mhm.
produced, and sold and distributed. And I understand how hard it is for so many other people to get stage time right now. I understand how hard it is for people who have a politic of compassion and caring for all types of people across the sexuality, race, gender, identity spectrum. I understand how hard it is for all of these things to still be funny for some people right now, because a lot of times they're like, oh no, is that comedian who I
Yeah.
love gonna make me feel like a piece of shit? Oh no, is that comedian who I thought I loved gonna say horrible shit
Yeah.
about a category of people of which my partner is a group, of which
Yes.
my child is a group? Imagine you love a comedian and your daughter just came out to you as trans, you figuring all that stuff out. You sit down and watch a comedy special with your child, something y'all been doing since they were small, and they have to experience a new form of targeting in
Yes.
front of you. So I'm not shy when I say that. Like, I took it very seriously, and I also wanted to be very funny. Because right now, if you just happen to like gay people, sometimes people are so surprised because there has been so much just weird attention placed on trans people and queer people by comedians. And I love it. I love being able to laugh at myself. I love being able to laugh at other queer people. I love all these things. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying, hey, if you can make a joke really funny, yeah, you can make that
Yeah.
joke. But I was of the belief that I really wanted to make a special that everybody could enjoy. And my everybody isn't everybody where like folks go, oh, I mean everybody except for these people who I want to upset. I
Yeah.
truly mean everybody. I don't pursue it, but they're definitely, let me wait. Oh, it's the comedy police. They coming to get me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dave, why you sending these folks? No, and you working with the police now? Yeah, fed. No, I would say that my comedy, even though I don't pursue it, I guarantee it's some centrist, center right people, maybe not full on conservative, but there's some conservative people who go, ooh, that's funny. And I hope I put enough cheese on the broccoli that they take
Yeah.
it in and go, maybe I could be decent to trans people. That's not
Exactly.
my new comedy, but if there's a person who's on the fence and they hear my your pronouns are me, ma joke. They go, okay, oh, okay. Wait a minute. These are, oh, yeah.
Perhaps I was wrong.
Hey, gender definitely is a spectrum based on identity and expression. Because, wait a minute.
Hmm.
If that happens, praise be.
You,
That's what
you,
I.
you do such a great job of like, we're like, oh, this is for everyone. But I'm like, there's raunchy shit in there, but you do such a, it's tempered in. So it's like you're a chef and like you're sprinkling in. So you're like, oh, that was a butt sex joke. Let's see if we, that lets me know who's fun in here. I'm like, oh, like,
Yeah.
it's genius. And also you're doing, I I didn't want to like phrase the question this way, but like you see, like I feel like you are the one and on social media and like everyone talks about comedy, oh, you got to be edgy and everything like that. You're doing what edgy folks what they think they're doing, and you're doing it so
Oh,
much
yeah.
better. And also, you're the one online where it's like it's almost like this was a masterclass in comedy. Like, oh, you want to. Oh, I want to make fun of everyone. Like, well, no, the difference between making fun of everyone and making light of folks. And like you talk about lesbians, be like, yeah, you don't pick up, yeah, you don't mess with lesbians because lesbians can fight. Like it's
Yeah.
a stereotype, but like it's a not it's not a bad one, but like it's something we all know, but you're
Yeah.
emphasizing on that. And
And
you
it's
online, you're like
also,
you call out everyone else as well. Not in a bad way, but you're like if you're doing this, yo, you're ass.
yeah.
You're not. This isn't comedy.
I even think that part of the reason I love a joke where the perceived dominant group gets that power flipped, i.e., a cisgender queer man having a fun joke about lesbians, is that the lesbians who come see me, the savages who come see me, they hear that joke, and guess what? They're on the winning end of that joke
Hmm.
mathematically. And it's also an acknowledgement of their grit, of their
Yes.
toughness, of their dedication, of their power. So there is something very fun. And some people just, I think they be forgetting this part of comedy. There's a fun way for you as the comedian to basically give your audience a little bit of power
Yes.
by losing in a story to someone in the audience.
Yeah.
So if you if you have a crowd of people who you know come to your shows, but they're the minority, maybe it's like if you're a good comedian, you almost understand that demographic tension and know
Hmm.
how to play with it in such a
Hmm.
way that everyone has a good time. It's when I make fun of the straight boys in my crowd, but I also go, but you're here, so you're here though.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
okay. I can't be mad at that. Hey, you ain't finished the book, but you open it up. I can't be mad. She bought tickets. I believe she bought tickets.
Hmm.
But that's like, I think that's also how we as progressive people make sure we don't lose our footing and cede a bunch of territory to less than great characters, unsavory characters
Hmm.
just seem to be amassing more and more power, specifically in comedy. If you want to make sure queer people and trans people still enjoy comedy, if you want to make sure that women, black women, fun, powerful groups of people still come to comedy shows, you better make them laugh. And I took that as a very important thing that I wanted to do. I was never a comic who was like, oh, I don't care who laughs at my stuff. I care deeply and
Yes.
immensely and specifically about the people who pay money to come see me. Because guess what? When you come see me on tour, on the road, these people, they pay for a babysitter, they pay for an Uber, they pay for a restaurant possibly, they pay for a ticket, they paid for two drinks. It's two
Hmm.
people, they paid for four drinks, they tipped, they paid for valet maybe, maybe not. They paid for Uber back home. And they also pay time.
Yeah.
There's not a world where I don't want to make these people feel like they're taken care of. That's just me.
Hmm.
That's I will live and die by that. And part of that is also giving them enough food. Food in the sense of jokes. I always
Yeah.
say, I want to be the cafeteria lady who went to school with your auntie. And when I see you in my line, I go, you getting two
Yeah,
scoops. You're getting two scoops of
yeah.
jokes. You are getting a double scoop of jokes. And sometimes I would argue I talk about comedy as much as I do because I love it, but part of it is also because I love, as we were talking about before, I love critical
Yes.
analysis. I love textual analysis. I love investigating. I love both celebrating the art form and seeing how that happened. Listen, I love watching basketball, but I also love seeing someone drop a play. I go, oh, if you can love a dunk, you can love a great backdoor cut.
Mhm.
I'm I'm strict sometimes, and I'm hard on myself. I'm as hard on myself as I am on anybody else. So that is part of why I also call shit out if I think it's not making the game
Mm.
best. If and we're all artists.
Yeah.
I want to say, oh, well, like, it's very subjective if we're all artists, and I 100% agree. But I also would argue that a lot of great art can be adjudicated and discussed. Figure skating's an art, it's also a
Yes.
sport.
Yes.
Gymnastics is an art, but it's also a sport. Skateboarding is an art, but it's also a sport. I'm not saying you always have to be the judge's table, but I am saying, ooh, I love the way you executed that is a compliment because we understand that
Hmm.
there are ways to pull off things technically.
Yes. I you that's such a great comparison because it's so funny because I everyone's like, oh yeah, but if a joke doesn't land, like, oh, you guys are thinking the joke, or there's still such a thing as a bad joke, man. Like you're still such a
Not only are
thing.
there,
Like
and there are things that you think are great in the moment. You go, ooh, I can make this better. You go, ooh, I
mm,
don't like that interpretation of this, but there's a nugget of something here that
yes.
then I can get to. That's like why I also talk about it as much as I do, because I do want people to know I take it seriously. I don't want anyone to be like, Jay just gets up there and says whatever he wants. No, I've said it before, and it's not the most, not everyone agrees with this statement, but I don't, sometimes I have to explain, I don't want to always be relatable. I want to always be remarkable.
Mm,
I don't always want to be
nice.
relatable. I want to be relatable in the sense that maybe you've had this thought. I don't want to be relatable in the sense that, oh, I could say it that way. Because I said it this way,
Mhm.
because I worked on it for 2 weeks and I got extremely specific with my word choice and the way that I wanted to play with time and tension and inflection and tone and pitch and music. And then I said it right a couple times. I said, is it this? And then I locked it in. And now I say it like that for
Yes.
you. That's what went into this. So that's also why I'm okay with people judging it. I'm okay with people reviewing it. I'm okay
Mm,
with people saying, "Oh, Jay, you go too fast." Because I'll go, "You're right." Sometimes I do. I'm not necessarily saying that everything has to be my way. What I'm saying is that what I do when I do it my way is very intentional
yes.
and very much a specific performance that I'm trying to pull off. But because as an artist, you go, I really feel this way. And then as a technician, you go, how can I recreate the closest thing to this feeling all the time? I know that I want to be able to make this joke work repeatedly. Is it gonna feel the same way as the first time I said it as a riff?
Mm,
Perfect example. I used to I used to do this thing whenever I did my show in Brooklyn Pretty Major every second and fourth Tuesday at Union Hall, where I do my set, then I get the light, then I go, okay, I'd like tell my last joke, and then I go, okay, for the next 2 minutes, If y'all yell out a weird animal, I will try to come up with a joke for this animal. And
Oh.
and so I would write some weird animals down that I knew people were probably gonna say. And I go, okay, this is probably what people are gonna say. This is what people always say when you say weird animal.
Hmm.
Platypus. Easy. They go always say platypus. Platypus, axolotl. They're gonna say I know the animals. And so one time someone said platypus, and so then I said, oh, they're monotremes. People were like, what's a monotreme? It's an egg-laying mammal with a pouch. Mammals, we all like nurse our young. Like humans, we're like placental mammals. Like marsupials, they have like a nipple in the pouch. Monotremes, they never evolve nipples. They just sweat milk. They
Hmm.
secrete it because mammary glands are just specialized sweat glands. So the joke started off like, oh, platypuses, they don't have monotremes don't have nipples. Monotremes never evolved them. They just secrete milk. And then became, oh, they just sweat milk. And then became, oh, they just sweat milk. Yeah, like a kid from the Midwest.
West.
So then that was about platypus. Then I went to San Diego Zoo. I saw an echidna. I said, wait a second.
Hmm.
Echidnas are also monotremes. Let me make sure. Let me do my research. Because echidnas also, they have like a four-headed penis. But I wouldn't want to say that on tonight. But echidnas,
We're gonna keep it to the milk.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They said, we don't know about this dick stuff. I said, fair. I don't embarrass myself in front of the roots. Uh, Black Thought would be like, Jay, you can't be talking about dicks on this show. So I So I replaced platypus with echidna.
Hmm.
I put it in the animal section at the top of the special, which was in the animal section at the top of the tour because I love animals so much. So that was like perfect. That was a
Hmm.
perfect sort of it was a perfect example of like a thing that went from being like a fun riff that felt amazing the first time I did it that then became a joke that I really enjoyed tinkering, perfecting, editing, subject swapping, and then it became a thing I put in my special. I love that feeling.
Yes, the natural progression of a joke, like the organic
Yeah.
making of
But, so,
it.
but sometimes I'm at home, I'm like, ooh, I love this subject. Ooh, I love this counterbalance system. Ooh, I love this inconsistency. Ooh, I love this current topic. Oh, I love this bit of hypocrisy.
Mm,
What I like about this? What's this? What's this thing that I'm thinking about? And sometimes it's like something externally that then I get to go, wait a minute. What? Sometimes it's something old that I was like, man, I can't use this. I don't know what
yeah.
to do. It comes back. I had a joke. I couldn't put it in the special. I just didn't know where to put it. I said, I don't know where it's supposed to go. It ain't go nowhere. It just stuck with me, and now it's in a spot that I think works. But I was like, I don't know where to put this. So yeah, I mean, whenever I talk about comedy, I feel very happy that I can talk about it this way with people.
Yes.
I love getting to be a nerd about it. I love getting to be too actory about it. I love getting to be too much of an English major about it. I love mapping it on comic books. I always say I love being a speedster for a little bit on stage. I love this idea that it's hard to track where I'm gonna go, and my my goal is to engage people and make them have to go, shit. It's the opposite of second screen viewing.
Hmm.
Primary screen, you have to go, let me keep up. It's a challenge. I challenge you.
Yes.
But you see two people to your left, two people to your right laughing. You go, I don't want to miss it.
Yes.
See,
Yes.
y'all think y'all smarter than me? Nah. I can keep up. I can have fun. And when you keep up, when you listen, it's so many little surprises in there for so many different people. It's me being like, oh, I'm gonna tell a Saquon Barkley joke, and Straight Boy's gonna be like, wait, hold on, oh,
Yeah.
who told him about that big booty man? Oh, you think, oh, okay, wait a second, I
I'm
gotta
gonna
watch
lift it
this
here.
one.
You have given us a masterclass again, even in just describing your comedy and the research and analysis that goes into it as well. So I'm always happy and fascinated to hear about like an artist when they delve that much into their craft. Like, oh yeah, they do research too. Yeah, I fucked with this. I don't want to keep you too long. So where else? Because you also did the I know you're recently on the Pablo Torre. It was a podcast where you talk about the
Yeah,
gay
Pablo
myth of
Torre finds
masculinity.
out.
So where else can we also find you, or what else do you have coming up where people can
Oh,
find
you
you?
can find me on Jurden on all social media. I have a website where you can buy all tickets to the tour I'm currently on. The tour I'm on, Omar, is
Hmm.
called Nothing Special because, surprise, it's nothing from the special. When I
No,
did the special, I had like an hour and a half. And so I cut that up. And then I had 30 minutes. I said, well, Jay, if
nice.
you focus a little bit, you could turn 30 minutes into 40 minutes. You could turn 40 into 45. You could turn 45
Hmm.
into 50. And then a year later, almost, now I have a new hour with nothing from the special
All
and a
right.
bunch of fun stuff. I'm not going to record this one probably until 2027. I don't know.
Okay.
But this is a completely different, nothing from the special. You can watch the special that day. I'm not going to repeat a single joke.
Okay.
And so I'm currently on tour with that. I'm gonna be in Los Angeles for Netflix. It's a joke fest on May 8th. It's my birthday show. I have
Nice.
friends. I'm calling in favors. So you might see people and go, oh, Jay might actually
Yeah.
Jay's not famous, but he's close. You might see somebody and be
Is that
like, wait
James?
a
Oh, he
minute.
wasn't joking. Okay.
Jay actually can text that person. They don't always respond, but I
Mm.
can tell. So that's happening May 8th. And then I'm gonna exclusive. London this summer. First time being in London for a long time as a stand-up comedian. So I'm going to London this summer.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go to a bunch of cool places. You can catch me Portland, Maine. I'm going back to Chicago. Chicago Labor Day is gonna be epic, Zany, Chicago. I love being in Chicago. So I have a bunch of tour dates on my website, and then also all social media, and follow me there and podcast appearances and more announcements coming soon.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you for joining us, and we look forward. I look forward for your next special, talking to you before it and after it.
Yes, yes, and thank you so much for being fun, for being silly about comics, for really getting what I think the vibe is now. I mean, we could talk so much about X-Men. I also want to say X-Men 97, thank you for covering that. Thank you for
Yep. No.
celebrating. Thank you for celebrating some really, really cool things that and I know a lot of other Black nerdy ass creators enjoy. So thank you,
All right,
Omar.
hey,
Thank you.
you made my day today. I'm gonna go in therapy and be like, yeah, today was a great day. Thank you so much, Mr. Jordan.
Of course. You have a good one.
You too.